thus all humanity became the children of Satan. So ibig sabihin, ang nangyari after the fall is instead na si God yung naging parent natin, instead na si God yung naging center of our life, of our relationship, of our existence, sino naging center? Di ba? Walang iba kundi si Satan or si Lucifer. Tama ba? Kaya anong characteristics ang namana natin? Anong nature, anong ano pa tawag doon? Anong personality ang namana natin? Is it the original nature, the original personality, or it is a distorted personality? Diba? It's very clear na even Jesus Christ, sabi nga niya, you brood of vipers. So our lineage is not connected even to God. That's why we needed to be reconnected. Tama po ba? We became the children of Satan. Instead of becoming or enjoying a life together with God, together with our absolute eternal parent, ang nangyari is nagkaroon tayo ng parents na it always lead us towards difficulty and suffering. Tama ba? Aju? Meron mang happiness but it is just a limited happiness. Temporary happiness. Na ang gusto ng original parent natin is magkaroon tayo ng eternal happiness, eternal and unchanging happiness. Aju? So yun yung nawala sa atin after that. Kaya nga, what had happened is, God of this world is not God, but it is Satan. Even the ruler of our life is not God, but it is Satan himself. Kaya nga sabi niya, this is why Jesus said to the people, you are of your father the devil. That is the book of John chapter 8 verse 44. Okay? Ang parent natin, ang father natin is not God, but it is Satan. Anong tingin natin kay God? Anong tingin natin kay God after that? Diba? He is just like a king, our master na nandoon na tinitignan lang natin. Tama ba? Parang we don't have the authority to be connected to God. Ganun. And then sabi pa ni Jesus, and called them a brood of vipers. In the book of Matthew, chapter 12, verse 34 and chapter 23, verse 33. Kaya nga, kung titignan natin in the Bible calls Satan the ruler of this world and also the God of this world. Okay? The center of the world is not the original God or the God who created the universe, but it is Satan. Na-display si God, and then yung pumalit, walang iba kundi si Satan. Aju? Yan. And because of that, every day, wala tayong ibang ginagawa kundi following the influence of Satan. And this is how Satan influenced human society. So Satan cannot perpetrate his evil activity unless he first find an object partner. Alam naman natin na importante yung object partner. Tama ba? Everything that we do, we must find an object partner para sa ganang magkaroon ng continuation yung gagawin natin. So ganun din ang ginawa ni Satan. And Satan always find an object partner with whom he can form a common base and engage in give and take action. Kaya nga, ano bang ginawa niya kay Eve? Di ba? Although kay Eve, alam niya na bawal kainin, pero dahil nagkaroon sila ng common base, yun nga yung sinasabi natin na mutual understanding, okay? Yan. Nung nagkaroon na ng mutual understanding, ang hirap ng umalis. Ang hirap ng humiwalay. Okay? So Satan's object partner are evil spirit in the spirit world, and the object partner to these evil spirits are spirit selves of evil people on earth, and the vehicles through which these evil spirit selves act are their physical selves. Aju? Kaya kung titignan natin, di ba? Pagka nagkaroon tayo ng relationship outside, sabi nga ng parents natin, huwag mo nang makipag-boyfriend, huwag mo nang makipag-girlfriend. Pero pag meron tayo nagustuhan, Nasasabi ba natin agad yun sa parents natin? Or mas alam ng mga barkada kaysa mismong parents? Di ba? Even nga sa community natin, di ba? Or even sa school, halimbawa, pag sinabi ni nanay na, anak, huwag ka munang makipag-boyfriend, huwag ka munang makipag-girlfriend. Pero sabi ng mga kaibigan mo, sabi ng mga kabarkada mo, uy, bagay na bagay kayo, ang cute-cute nyo pag magkasama kayo. So, sino mas nasusunod? Okay? So, that is how Satan influence. Okay? Through people trying to invade us to fulfill what we don't want to do. Okay? Yun yung ginagamit niya para sa ganun magkaroon siya ng connection sa atin. And once we respond, karoon tayo ng common understanding, mutual understanding with each other, what will happen? That's the time that we are continuing or expanding the influence of Satan. Aju? Sino na sa inyo nakata ng Pure Love Alliance lecture? Pure Love lecture. Di ba? Meron tayo doon yung sinasabi na the only way to stay pure is first you must learn how to say no. Tama ba? Kasi by just saying no, I don't want to do that. I'm not yet prepared to do that. That will be the time that you will go back to where you came from, where you originally connected. Aju? Yan. So that is how Satan influences us. Katulad nga halimbawa yung nangyari kay Judas Iscariot. Okay? Kilala niyo ba si paring Judas? Ha? Di ba?
One of the chief disciple of Jesus.
Yan. Siya yung treasurer ng ministry ni Jesus. Okay. Pero anong ginawa? Satan influence, anong ginawa niya? In-influence yung hobby ni Judas. Okay, kasi sugarol si Judas, kaya yun yung ginamit niya. And then nung nakipag-give in si Judas, nagkaroon silang mutual relationship. Okay? What had happened?
He betrayed Jesus.
Nasucumb siya ni Satan. Right? And nung nawaldas niya yung pera ng ministry, wala siyang ibang paraan kundi to sell Jesus himself to recover. Okay? Yan. And also, Jesus once called Peter, Satan. Okay? Kailan niya sinabi? Nung sinabi ni Peter na, over my dead body, no one can touch even the tip of your hair. Kasi alam ni Jesus na wala ng hope. The only way for him to save humanity is going through the cross. Aju? Yan. And pagka hindi matupad yun, nung lahat ng tao, including his own disciples, betrayed him, okay, mawawala ng opportunity na i-continue ni God yung restoration ng tao. Kaya sabi niya kay Peter, get away from me, Satan. You are a hinder block towards the building of the kingdom of heaven. Okay? So that is how Satan influenced. So in the Bible, the spirit of evil earthly men are called angels of the devil. So these are the one that is keep on influencing us. The angels of the devil, or what we call evil spirit. Okay? Kaya nga, every day, yun yung battle natin actually. Battle against evil spirit. Hindi man directly kay Satan, but we are trying to stop the influence of evil spirit by continuously connecting towards God's purpose through our conscience. Pero yun nga, hindi rin ganun ka-fully develop yung conscience natin. Kaya minsan, mas nanaig pa rin yung influence ni Satan. Aju? Yan. And aside from that, nagkaroon tayo ng tinatawag nating kasalanan. Okay? Pag sinabi natin kasalanan, this is a violation of heavenly law which is committed when a person forms a common base with Satan, thus setting a condition for give and take action with him. Okay? Yan. Pag na-influensyan tayo ni Satan at nagkaroon tayo ng common base, halimbawa, pinakasimple, okay? Meron ka nakitang 1,000 pesos sa kalsada. In your mind, tatanungin mo, naglalaban yan, di ba? Pupulutin ko o hindi? Tapos kung pupulutin mo, hahanapin ko yung may-ari o finder's keeper. Di ba? Yan. And ang influence si Satan, wala namang nakikita eh. Ikaw na, di sa'yo na yan. Finder's keeper na yan. Okay? Pero at the back of our mind, malay natin kailangan ng taong nakawala nito. Right? Yan. So anong gagawin natin? Yun na magkakaroon ng battle. And that is the time that, okay, pagka manalo si Satan, automatic we violate the heavenly law. Kasi ano bang heavenly law? We have to think for higher purpose. Okay? So anong gagawin natin? Halimbawa, napulot natin. Finder's keeper ba kaagad? Okay? Di ba? Dapat i-announce mo muna. Pwede mong dalhin sa barangay. Tapos, ang barangay na magbibigay, magsasabi, mag-announce. Actually, according to media, is at least 3 days na magkaroon ng public announcement. Pero pag 1,000 lang naman, okay, siguro depende na sa pagdedesisyonan sa barangay kung ano mangyari. Diba? Pero at least hindi ikaw yung mag-decide. It should not be you who will be decide. There must be a higher authority who will decide. Okay? And that is what we call violation of heavenly law. Yun yung nawala kina Adam and Eve. Ano nangyari? They personalize everything. Okay? And because of that, nagkaroon sila ng give and take action with Satan. Kasi ang heart niya ni Satan is nakasentro na rin sa kanyang sarili. Okay? And aside from that, aside from having sin, nagkaroon tayo ng iba't ibang classification ng sin ngayon. Nandiyan yung tinatawag nating original sin. Alam niyo naman ako anong original sin, right? It is the sin that we have inherited from Satan. And we cannot remove this by ourselves. We needed a savior. We needed somebody to cleanse us. And yung somebody na yon, it is a person who received a direct connection to God. Aju? And kaya ito yung ugat ng lahat ng kasalanan, original sin. Okay? And we needed somebody to uproot it. Okay? And another one is yung hereditary sin. Anong hereditary sin? Yun yung namana natin sa mga kasalanan ng ninuno natin. Okay? Yan. So aside from the original sin, okay, meron pa tayo namana na kasalanan. That is hereditary sin. And aside from that, meron pang collective sin. Ano yun? As a member of the group, kung anong kasalanan ng grupo, kabilang din tayo doon. Okay? And ultimately, meron pang individual sin. So nagkaroon tayo ng classification of sin. 4 na classification ng kasalanan. Okay? Namana natin sa original ancestors, namana natin sa mga ninuno natin, namana natin sa grupo natin, plus yung personal na ginawa nating kasalanan. So, ibig sabihin, 4 na kasalanan yung dapat tanggalin natin sa ating sarili. Okay? Individual sin, collective sin, okay? Hereditary sin, this can be removed easily. But original sin, we needed somebody who is purer than us. Okay? Or a person who has a higher elevation than us in order for us to be removed from the original sin. Kaya nga, we needed a savior. We needed a Messiah. Okay? Ang purpose ng Messiah is to remove the original sin. Cleanse us from original sin. Kasi ito yung disconnection natin kay Satan para mawala ng influence si Satan sa atin. And these are the different characteristics. And aside from that, aside from the sin that we have, nagkaroon tayo ng 4 fallen character. Okay? Yan. So, dumadami na yung connection ni Satan sa atin. Andiyan na yung kasalanan natin. Tapos yung 4 na klase ng classification ng kasalanan. Plus, meron pa tayong namana na characteristics or personality that is coming from Satan. And ano yun? Okay? Meron siyang 4. Number 1 is failing to take God's standpoint. So Eve inherited from the archangel all the proclivities incidental to his transgression against God when he bound her in blood ties through their sexual relationship, and Adam in turn acquired the same inclination. These proclivities have become the root cause of the fallen inclination in all people, and they are the primary characteristics of our fallen characteristics. Ano yun? Ano yung apat na yun? Number one is failing to take God's standpoint. Pag sinabi nating failing to take God's standpoint, we never look at what? We never judge things based on God's perspective or God's purpose, but we always use our own judgment in looking at things. Tama ba? Does it make sense? Ha? Yeah. Even sa family, di ba? Minsan ang parents natin, ang ganda-ganda, pero sa atin, maganda ba sa atin? Ang hirap nating ang hirap nating sabayan yung kagustuhan ng parents natin. So likewise with Adam and Eve. Instead of looking at on God's perspective, on God's purpose, they look on their individual perspective. Okay? Yan. Second is leaving one's proper position. Okay? Ano bang position ni Archangel before? Diba, it is to guide Adam and Eve to fulfill the purpose of God towards them. Educate them and bring them to, guide them to substantially establish the three great blessing. Pero ano nangyari? Iniwan yung position niya and he stand to be what? To become the ruler of Adam and Eve. Tama ba? Diba? Instead na si Adam mag-under ni si Archangel Lucifer, dapat na under siya ni Adam and Eve. Ano nangyari? Okay? Renule niya si Adam and Eve. Okay? Yan. Ruling in the sense na it is based on his own feeling, based on his own perspective in life. And because of that, nagkaroon ng reversal of dominion. Okay? Yan. Denominate niya si Adam and Eve, and at the same time, instead na kinonect niya sila kay God, hindi na, kinat niya yung connection nila kay God. And siya na yung naging center of their connection together. Okay? And aside from that, okay, number 4 is multiplying the criminal act. Okay? Ito yung pinaka-common sa lahat eh. Pag may kasalanan tayo, aamin ba tayo agad? Or we have to find somebody na may kasalanan? Di ba? Yan yung pinaka-common na ginagawa natin eh. Okay? Multiplication of criminal act. Hindi lang ako, siya rin. Okay? We always find somebody para may kasama tayo. Kasi nga, mahirap daw mag-isa. Kinakailangan ng kasama. Adyo? Yan. So these are the characteristics. 4 fallen characteristics. We never look in God's viewpoint. Okay? Or we never look on things based on God's purpose. And we always leave our proper position. Okay? Instead na tayo mag-take care, gusto natin ibang mag-take care. Okay? And aside from that, ayaw nating maging responsible sa sitwasyon. We always wanted to point out to somebody who will become responsible. And the worst thing is, ayaw nating mapag-isa sa kasalanan. Kaya we always influence other to follow, to do criminal act. Aju? Directly or indirectly. So yun yung namana natin sa failure nila Adam and Eve. Yun yung naging result ng failure nila Adam and Eve. Kaya kung titignan natin, starting from the failure of Adam and Eve up until this time, ito yung nakasanayan natin na buhay. Okay? Ito yung naging lifestyle natin. Kaya sa tingin nyo kaya madali itong tanggalin? Madali itong i-unload sa atin? Okay? Actually, it needs a lot of courage. It needs a lot of overcoming actually. Okay? Kaya nga, up until this time, hindi pa rin natin naintindihan ano ba talaga ang freedom natin. Okay? Ano ba talaga yung tinatawag nating freedom? Is it, pang freedom nga ba is yung I can enjoy everything that I wanted to do? Is that a freedom? Okay? Yan. Kasi doon nakadepende if we are practicing the right thing or not. So in this section, we'll be studying the freedom and the human fall. So what is the meaning of freedom? Okay? Centering the principles viewpoint, pag sinabi nating freedom, nandun yung free will and free action. Ano ba ibig sabihin ng free will and free action? Okay? Pagka halimbawa, ginawa ko to, walang pagsisisi, ano yon? Free action ba yon? That is based on the body. Okay? Pero dapat, pag sinabi nating freedom, hindi ka dapat makonsensya sa ginagawa mo. Okay? That is combination of free will and free action. And the result is what? It is for you to constantly be happy. Tama ba? Aju? Kasi pagka hindi ka nakukonsensya at gustong-gusto mong gawin, the more you do it, the more you enjoy doing it. Ibig sabihin, that is the direction of the right freedom in accordance to the principle. Okay? So kung titignan natin, sabi nga niya dito, freedom requires both free will and free action pursuant to that will. Therefore, there cannot be any free action without free will. So hindi pwedeng maghiwalay itong dalawa. Hindi pwedeng masaya ka sa katawan, tapos ang isipan mo, nakukonsensya. Hindi pwedeng ganon. Dapat pareho. Okay? So nor can free will be complete without free action to accompany it. Likewise, ganon din. Okay? Wala rin yung free will na hindi gustong gawin ng katawan mo. So both of which, they should have a proper reciprocal relationship of give and take action. Tama ba? Supporting and helping each other. And it must be continuous ang experience. Aju? Yan. Halimbawa, yung nakasanayan natin na normal naman sa taong uminom. Let's take that as an example. Pag normal sa taong uminom ng alak, anong ibig sabihin nun? Dapat hindi ka magsisi pag sumakit ang ulo mo, right? Tama ba? Yeah? Pero ano nangyari? Pagkatapos mong uminom, nag-enjoy ka habang uminom ka, pero pag sumakit na yung ulo mo, ano reaction mo? Diba? It is not in accordance to the free will and the relationship of the free will and free action. Kaya kung titignan natin, and that alone, we can say that it is not our freedom. Isa pang halimbawa, yung pagkain. Paborito mo yung pagkain. Okay? Gustong-gusto mong kumain, so anong gagawin ng katawan mo? Pag nakita niyo yung paborito mong pagkain, eat all you can, right? Tama ba? Ha? Pero pwede bang eternal habang merong pagkain, kakain ka? Hindi, di ba? Merong ending. Kasi pag sumakit na yung tiyan mo, ibig sabihin sumobra na. Kasi ang capacity natin is just limit. Kaya nga yun yung purpose ng free will. It is to guide or to limit our body in order to maintain our existence here on earth. Aju? Yan. Okay? So free will is an expression of the mind. Since the mind is in an original sinless person, or since the mind of an original sinless person cannot operate outside God's word, that is the principle, it will never express free will or generate free action apart from the principle. Okay? Kasi nga, kung titignan natin, ang principle ng body natin is, meron siyang ending ang lahat. Tama ba? Merong limitation ang capacity ng katawan natin. Aju no aju? Okay? Pagkain, lahat, even our life, meron siyang limitation because that is the characteristics of the human body based on the principle. Okay? So paano natin mare-retain yun? Okay? It is through the influence of the free will or the mind that we have. Kaya very important yung relationship ng free will and free action together to sustain our life here on earth. I remember there's one study na ginawa sa Japan. Tinanong yung mga matatanda kasi meron isang community sa Japan na puro matatanda. Above 90 years old. Okay? What is the secret daw why they reach that kind of age? One is they enjoy their life and they did not abuse things around them. Ibig sabihin, kakain lang sila kung ano yung kailangan nila. Okay? And they are happy living together. Okay? Yeah. So these are the clear manifestation that when we talk about freedom, it is not what the body needs, but it should be satisfied both our mind and the body. Okay? Wala yung konsensya na mag-stop na dapat ganito. Magpagsisisihan mo after na mag-enjoy ka sa ginawa mo. Aju? Kaya nga even si Jesus Christ sabi niya, once is enough. Hindi naman sinabi na bawal magkamali. Pwede magkamali minsan, pero dapat natuto ka. Aju? Tama ba? Pero hindi naman pwede na lagi ka na nagkakamali. Pare-pareho yung pagkakamali mo. Hindi naman ganon. Okay? Iba naman na yung ganon na sinasabi. Aju? Yan. Kasi when we talk about the principle, it just talk about the learning process once. Okay, pag nangyari na minsan, alam mo na kung anong dapat mong iwasan after. Okay, that is the principle. Okay? So let's see deeper the meaning of freedom from the viewpoint of principle. Sabi niya, there is no freedom outside the principle. Okay? Outside the reciprocal relationship of harmonious relationship of mind and body, mind as the subject and the body as an object, outside that one, if that is not yet being perfected and constantly being part of our life, of our system, became our lifestyle, okay, there is no freedom outside that. Ang mangyari is lagi tayong magsisisi sa mga ginagawa natin. Tama ba? Does it make sense? Ha? Diba? Pag ang principle is always living for the sake of others, pag inisip mo yung sarili mo, ano mangyari? Automatic makukonsensya ka. Tama ba? Ha? Kahit pa sabihin natin na nakasanayan mo na yung ganong buhay at a certain period of time, okay, makukonsensya ka pa rin. Magkakaroon pa rin ng point of regret. Tama ba? Aju? Or does it make sense, brothers and sisters? Yan. Kasi ang nangyari is, nagkakaroon ng temporary lang yung bagay-bagay outside the principle. Okay? And ang buhay natin is, sinasabi natin na meron tayong eternal, unchanging, and unconditional. Pag puro kondisyon at puro negative ang titingnan natin, masosuffocate tayo. Okay? And also, there is no freedom without responsibility. Ano ibig sabihin nito? Okay? Kung anong outcome, ano dapat? You should be responsible for it and learn from it. Aju? Hi, hello. Are you still with me? Yan.
Yes.
Yan.
Yes
Hindi
po.
pwedeng sabihin na may freedom tapos hindi siya may kasalanan. Hindi ganon. Okay? Walang freedom sa ganon. Kasi every action that we have, we are responsible for it. Tama ba? Whether that is good or that is not good. Okay? Kaya nga, in God's viewpoint, there's no such thing as good and bad. Everything is good and not good. Parang sa ganun, there is still a minimal connection towards the identity of goodness. Okay? And when we talk about goodness, at least we are responsible in those scenarios. We are responsible to the result of the action. And not only responsible, but we learn from it. Kaya pag alam natin na hindi maganda, ulitin mo pa ba? Okay? Kaya halimbawa nung sinabi ko kanina na pag-inom ng alak. Okay? Pag alam mo na nasasakit ang ulo mo pag uminom ka ng alak, kailangan mo pang abusuhin ng pag-inom ng alak? Ha? Yan. Pero dahil hindi natin alam yung mga ganitong bagay, kaya patuloy pa rin nating ine-enjoy at inaabuso. And also, there is no freedom without accomplishment. So pag sinabi nating freedom, meron siyang magandang result. Okay? Always, ang magiging result niya is still, it is a good result. Pero pag hindi maganda, hindi naman yun accomplishment hindi naman yun result Kasi anong gagawin mo? Bagsak niyan pupunta sa basura. So we can therefore say that freedom could not possibly have caused human being to fall. Kasi kung naging responsible and nagkaroon ng magandang accomplishment, yung pag-fall nila Adam and Eve, di sana we enjoy living on this world together. Aju? Aju no Aju?
Aju.
So this is the real essence of freedom. Okay? Hindi pwedeng sabihin na, kasi teenager naman na ako, so that's my right. And that is my freedom. No. Okay? We have to always think. Okay? What is the result and am I ready to be responsible for it? Okay? And ano maging outcome? Is it beneficial for others or beneficial also for the whole? Or ako lang yung magbe-benefit? So these are the things that we needed to think of when we talk about fulfilling our freedom. Number one is principle. Is it in accordance to the principle? Pag sinabing in accordance to the principle, does it gives a happiness to our mind and body together? Free will and free action? And am I ready to be responsible? Are we ready to be responsible for it? And thus it gives a good accomplishment or good result. Okay? So these are the meaning of freedom when we talk about the principle. Kaya kung titignan natin, whether we like it or not, the fruit of the fall is not the freedom that Adam and Eve wanted to enjoy. Kasi hindi lang sila nag-suffer, but even the rest of human being. Aju? Yan. So, ito yung pinaka-controversial regarding the failure of Adam and Eve. Kasi sinabi na hindi raw nakialam si God. Okay? Yan. Bakit God is omnipotent, omniscient, and all-powerful, all-knowing. Pero bakit hindi niya pinigilan sina Adam and Eve? Ito yung laging controversy sa atin. Okay? Most especially in Christian theology. Okay? Pero kung titignan natin, merong reason behind that. And also, before Adam and Eve fell, nagbigay na ng warning si God. Tama ba? Nagbigay na ng warning si God kina Adam and Eve. And these are the reason why God did not intervene during the time. Number one is to maintain the absoluteness and perfection of the principle of creation. Kasi ang binigay ni God kina Adam and Eve is they should raise themselves to become the perfect image of God by fulfilling the three great blessings. That is their portion of responsibility. And develop their character to become like God's character so that they can govern all things. Okay? Hindi naman ginawa ni God sina Adam and Eve na robot. Na kung ano i-command ni God, yun yung gagawin nila Adam and Eve. Binigyan niya sila ng responsibility to accomplish. Kaya nga meron tayong freedom and free will to accomplish what we think it is good to do in accordance to God's purpose. And at the same time, God gave us a warning. Okay? Kaya nga sabi niya dito, why did the omniscient and omnipotent God not intervene to prevent the fall? In accordance with the principle of creation, God created human being in His image with the character and power of the Creator. So yung Creator's characteristics, binigay ni God kay Adam and Eve. And in order for them to prove that they are qualified to become the co-creator, they must inherit God's characteristics. Aju? Yan. So intending that they govern over all things as He governed over humankind. However, when human beings to inherit the creative nature of God, they must grow to perfection by fulfilling their portion of responsibility. Hence, while people are still in the realm of God's not directly govern them, okay, hindi pa yon yung period wherein God can directly connect to them. Kasi during that time, God is not the one directly na nagbibigay sa kanila ng command. Actually, yun nga yung position ni Lucifer during that time. Right? God gave the authority to Lucifer to guide Adam and Eve to accomplish the will of God and to fulfill their portion of responsibility. And alam naman natin, di ba, that is the three great blessing. Be fruitful, multiply, and have dominion. Okay? Maging mature in terms of practicing the perfect harmonious relationship of subject and object within individual, and then expand it through living for others in substance and living with the environment who continuously sustain our life here on earth. So yun yung binigay ni God na responsibility kina Adam and Eve. Na pag nagawa nila yon, that's the time that they will become the perfect incarnation of God here on earth. Okay? Yan. So if God were to interfere with human action during their growing period, it would be tantamount to ignoring the human portion of responsibility. In that case, God would be disregarding His own principle of creation. If the principle were ignored, then its absoluteness and perfection would be undermined. In order to preserve the absoluteness and perfection of the principle of creation, God did not intervene in the act that led the human being to fall. Kasi during that time, it is the fulfillment of their portion of responsibility. Yun yung time na dapat sabihin nila kay Lucifer, we cannot do that. We can ask first God. Para sa ganun mapatunayan nila na meron silang strong connection kay God. Kaya anong ginawa ni God? Pinabayaan niya muna sila. After everything is done, anong ginawa ni God? Linapitan niya si Adam. Baka sakali magbagong isip ni Adam. Anong ginawa ni Adam? Instead na maging responsible, pinasa niya kay Eve. And then nung tinanong ni God si Eve, anong ginawa ni Eve? Pinasa niya kay Lucifer. And then nung tinanong ni God si Lucifer, tinanong ni God si Lucifer, anong sabi ni Lucifer? Sino may kasalanan? It is no other than si God. Kaya kung titignan natin, God is not a happy God. God is not a master who enjoyed looking at His children. God is a suffering God who suffer because He cannot find His own children. Aju? Kumbaga, mismo ang kanyang mga anak, sila mismo ang nagtago kay God. Kaya parang nakikipag-hide and seek. Pag malapit na makita ni God, magtatago ulit sila. Parang gano'n nangyari. Aju? Yan. And number 2 is that God alone be the creator. Okay? So if God were to affect the course of unprincipled beings or act, then they would necessarily be given the value of God's creation and be recognized as principled. Alam na nga natin, unprincipled, right? Yan. So kung i-recognize yun ni God, so ibig sabihin, magiging principle din yun. So okay pala na maging ganun. Na kahit hindi pa naging responsible si Adam and Eve, pwede na. Ganun ang mangyari. And then consequently, if God were to have intervened in the fall of the first human ancestor, He would have been attributing to those acts the value of His creation and recognizing them as principled. And also, then Satan would stand as the creator of all the fruit of the fall. Therefore, in order that God remain the sole creator, He did not intervene in the human fall. Okay? Kasi kung nag-intervene siya, anong sabi ni Satan? Hindi pala absolute yung principle mo eh. So, ibig sabihin, pwede rin ako maging creator. So kahit si God yung nag-create, pwedeng i-claim ni Satan lahat ng create ni God. Okay? And walang opportunity si God na ibalik yung lahat ng tao sa kanyang, ano tawag nun? Sa kanyang sinapupunan. Kumbaga, sa kanyang sovereignty. Okay? But because God did not intervene, He alone is then as the creator of the universe. Kaya yun yung pinanghawakan ni God. Kaya meron pa ring opportunity na bumalik ang tao. Aju? Yeah. And also, number 3 is to make human being the lords of creation. If God were to rule directly and control the lives of human beings who are still in the state of immaturity, this would make them unable to fulfill their own portion of responsibility. Okay? Yan. Ibig sabihin, nawalan sila ng authority to fulfill their portion of responsibility. And nawala na rin yung indirect dominion. Nawala ng saysay yung tinatawag nating indirect dominion. Okay? And as a result, they would fail to inherit the creative nature of God and thereby fail to gain the qualification to rule over all things. Sino maging ruler kung gano'n na mangyari? Hindi si Adam and Eve, but sino? Si Satan. And pati si God, mawalan din ng authority to rule over the universe. Aju? Yan. So consequently, it was in order to bless human being as the Lord of creation that God had to restrain himself from intervening in the act of immature human being. Okay? Kaya that is how painful God's heart nung nakikita niya na ini-influensya ni Satan, si Adam and Eve. Lalong-lalo na nung nakipag-give in na si Eve, ganun na lang kasakit yung naramdaman ni God. Okay? Na halos sabi nga, halos madurog ang kanyang puso. Actually, durog na durog talaga ang puso ni God during the time. Kasi inalagaan niya na matagal, tapos binigyan niya ng responsibility. Instead na siya ang piliin, sino pinili? Still si Satan. Okay? Yan. So that is the reason why. And kung titignan natin, ahead of time, gaya na sinabi ko kanina, ahead of time nagbigay na ng warning si God. And God respected human portion of responsibility. Because human responsibility, that is the completion of the fulfillment or the establishment of the whole creation to be under God's sovereignty. Aju? Katulad yan sa family. Okay? Para maging inheritor ka ng family, anong gagawin mo? Dapat i-inherit mo yung nature and characteristics ng parents. Pag hindi mo ma-inherit, pag maging pasaway ka, what will happen to you? Okay? Yan. Sabi nga na isang lola, actually, meron akong mamita sa Rojas City. Yung regional director dati ng LTO sa Rojas City. Pag nandoon ako, lagi ko pinupuntahan siya doon sa Rojas. Sabi niya sa akin, Randy, alam mo, tamang-tama yan. Sabi niya, pag nung linelecturean ko siya nito, pag hindi susunod sa akin yung anak ko, alangan naman na papamanahin ko. Yung mga ipapamana ko yung ari-arian ko sa kanya. Diba? Kasi ano mangyari? Instead na pangalagaan, sisirain lang. Okay? Ma-remember niyo yung parable na sinabi ni Jesus na meron siyang binigyan ng mga ari-arian? Hinatis, yung isang owner, hinatis sa 4 ba yung anak niya, tapos binigyan sila ng ari-arian. Okay? So sinong nag-prosper among them? Di ba yung naka-inherit ng characteristics ng parents? So ganun din in our life. Okay? Most especially in accordance towards our connection to God. We have our portion of responsibility and our destiny is to become the co-owner of the whole universe, or what we call the co-creator of the universe. Because ayaw ni God na merong ibang maging tagapagmana kundi tayo. And para mangyari yon, kinakailangan maging responsible tayo, ma-accomplish natin yung portion of responsibility natin. Aju? Yan. So that is the result or the consequences of the human fall. And then, when we talk about our freedom, it's not our freedom to enjoy suffering, but our freedom is towards enjoyment of experiencing a happy lifestyle together with our brothers and sisters and together with God. Okay? And by fulfilling our portion of responsibility, dun tayo magkakaroon ng rightful inheritance of everything that is being created by God. Kaya nga, kung titingnan natin, pag iniisip natin yung ibang tao, mapapangalagaan natin ang ating kapaligiran. Pero pag sarili lang natin iniisip natin, mas lalo nating nasisira ang ating kapaligiran. Aju? So with that po, I hope na you have gained some knowledge and hint. Although gaya nga ng sinabi ko, it's not enough. Okay? Usually, itong lecture na to, chapter 1, chapter 2 is, kung kukunin natin yung detailed lecture, we needed at least, usually sa experience ko na pagle-lecture since I joined the movement 1993 hanggang ngayon, is at least 7 days. Ang pag-uusapan lang is chapter 1 and chapter 2. Okay? Yeah. Kaya nga, we cannot give you the whole detail, we can just give you. Kasi hindi na naman natin makukuha lahat in just one sitting, right? Kaya kinakailangan, sabi nga ni Father, we needed to read and study the divine principle more than our age. Aju? Pero when we read it, we will not just read it because we are being pushed to do it, but we have to be reflective and we have to involve God into it. So magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat.